Just ahead on CTV News.
Today is the first day for flight reductions at airports all across the country. I'm Jonathan Hunter. I spoke to travelers who have a message for lawmakers.
An Upper Marlboro woman pled guilty today for killing 3 local football players. I'm Sierra Jackson, and I'll have that story tonight on CTV News.
Plus, a federal judge has ordered Trump to fully fund SNAP benefits for the month of November. Those stories and more tonight on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening. This is CTV News for November 7th. I'm Katara Jones.
And I'm Anaya Falcon. Thanks so much for joining us. If you're planning on heading to the airport, there's a good chance you may see cancellations and delays.
Starting today, the FAA is cutting 10% of their flights at 40 airports nationwide. That includes Reagan National, Dulles International, and BWI Marshall Airport. CTV's Jonathan Hunter stopped by BWI to see how things went today.
The FAA says today the flight reductions are starting at 4% and will go up to 10% next week. And here at BWI, we are already starting to see a couple cancellations. And I spoke to a few travelers who tell me today actually hasn't been too bad. Christine Gilbert is traveling to Austin, Texas to visit her daughter. She noticed her flight was delayed and wanted to make sure her flight wasn't canceled.
I haven't seen her since August, so it's a very quick weekend. If there's a lot of delays, it kind of doesn't make any sense for me to go since I'm coming back on Sunday afternoon.
The FAA says the decision to reduce flights was for safety reasons, as several air traffic controllers are experiencing fatigue and have been calling out sick.
I'm glad that they're taking air travel seriously. We want to make sure everyone's safe and that the air traffic controllers can do their job appropriately. We don't need any disasters in the air or on the ground.
This is just one of the impacts of what is now the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. Since October 1st, air traffic controllers have been working without pay.
It's really sad that everyday people are impacted by that, particularly people who are having to work without pay. So when we go through security, I hope everyone's being really kind to TSA agents.
The flight reductions could impact holiday travel as we are just weeks away from Thanksgiving. FAA officials say the restrictions are going to remain in place as long as necessary. The travelers we spoke to say they want lawmakers to come together so they can reopen the government.
Just that they finally get together and come up with a reasonable solution to the problem. Both sides got to give somewhere.
I do hope that before Thanksgiving rolls around, which is in about 3 weeks, that the Republicans and Democrats can come together and work like adults to realize that people have places to go and things to do, and they want to get there safely and on time.
For all the travelers out there, you are encouraged to check with your airlines if you have any question or concerns, and you do want to arrive at the airport at least 2 hours early. At BWI, I'm Jonathan Hunter for CTV News.
Thanks for that report, Jonathan. Now, BWI officials say safety remains their top priority.
And they are asking flyers to check their website if they have any questions about their flights. And today, Governor Wes Moore announced more actions to help Marylanders during the government shutdown. The actions include launching a second round of loans for essential federal employees. Those eligible can receive up to $1,400 worth of financial support. He is also offering free transit services for federal employees on core services. Lastly, the governor is putting $10.1 million towards maintaining critical energy assistance benefits. Governor Moore says he's proud to take these actions, but it's absurd that he has to.
We know that there is no state on a long-term basis that can fill in the hole that comes when the federal government decides that they are no longer going to do their job. And so to President Trump, on behalf of 6.5 million Marylanders, I would just simply say this: do your job. Pick up the phone. Get the deal done. Stop this pain. Reopen the government. In Maryland, we are committed to doing our jobs.
Today, Governor Moore signed an executive order to make these relief programs effective immediately. For more information on how to apply for one of these programs, visit go.md.gov/federal shutdown.
A federal judge has ordered the Trump administration to fully fund SNAP benefits in November. That's roughly $9 billion. The ruling gives the Trump administration until today to make the payments to the SNAP program. Now, this comes after the Trump administration said they would partially fund SNAP. Now, several cities and nonprofits complained over President Trump's initial decision to partially fund SNAP, arguing it was not enough. In Maryland, roughly 680,000 people rely on SNAP benefits.
And Maryland is taking the Trump administration to court over where the nation's top law enforcement agency will call home. Governor Wes Moore, Attorney General Anthony Brown, and Prince George's County filed a lawsuit Thursday to stop the White House from moving the future FBI headquarters from Greenbelt, Maryland to downtown Washington. They argue federal law required the GSA to choose from 3 suburban sites, and D.C. wasn't one of them. The Greenbelt project promised thousands of jobs and billions in local investment. Now leaders say the lawsuit is their last stand to keep it.
The president, not related to any specific criteria or strategic decision-making, but related more to his political bias. Hear me? His political bias. That he's decided to move it to a building totally unsuited, unplanned for, undesigned for the purposes of a major law enforcement agency.
Protocol, he comes up and he says, President Trump just said he's gonna, sent a tweet, gonna move the FBI somewhere else. And I was like, I don't care what he says in the tweet. And by the way, he's gonna hear from our lawyer, and our lawyer's gonna kick his butt.
The Trump administration says the Ronald Reagan building in D.C. remains its preferred site, setting up a high-stakes legal showdown that could take years to resolve.
Well, today in Upper Marlboro, a woman has pleaded guilty for the murder of 3 local football players last summer.
CTV's Sierra Jackson is outside the courthouse with more.
Yes, ladies, I'm standing right outside the courthouse where 25-year-old Corey Klingman has pled guilty in the car accident that took the lives of 3 former Wise football players. You may recall back in July of last year when news broke of Minnesota Vikings rookie Kyrie Jackson and his former Wise high school football teammates Isaiah Hazel and Anthony Litton Jr. were all killed in a crash in Upper Marlboro. Officials say the night of the crash, Klingman was driving under the influence of alcohol. Here's what State's Attorney Tara Jackson had to say after the court hearing.
Ms. Klingman was behind the wheel of a separate car that night, and she and the victim, who were all friends, traveling from the same location, were both traveling at high rates of speed, and the investigation revealed that her reckless and impaired driving led to the incident that caused the crash.
Now, families of the victims were present today in court and seemed relieved that some justice was served. But State's Attorney Tara Jackson had one overall message to convey: accountability.
Incidents like these are not just accidents. They are preventable tragedies that occur from conscious choices. Driving under the influence is a crime. Speeding at high rates of speed is a crime, both of which lead to jail, but worse than that, both of which can lead to death. So I want to urge everyone in the community to slow down. No destination, no rush, no moment of excitement is worth a life. And if you plan to drink, do not drive. Call a friend, call a ride share, call your family members. We want you to make it home.
Klingman's sentencing date is set for February 4th of next year. Sierra Jackson, CTV News.
Thanks, Sierra. The state is recommending a 15-year sentence suspending all but 3 years. Klingman will remain on home detention until her sentencing is in February.
A road rage murder case that haunted Maryland families for more than a year finally has a suspect, and investigators say 2 more cases still need answers. 28-year-old Dominic Proctor of Glendale is now charged with first-degree murder in the 2024 shooting of 20-year-old Nia Hairston on the Beltway near Landover. But state police say they're still searching for whoever shot and killed 2 others. 42-year-old Charles Marks on I-95 in Howard County, a tow truck driver Delonte Hicks on Route 50 in Prince George's County.
Partnership with the FBI, we are announcing a significant reward for anyone who comes forward with relevant information leading to the arrest of those responsible for the deaths of Delonte Hicks and Charlie Marks. A total of $60,000 is being offered. That is $30,000 offered in each of these cases.
For the other victims of road rage and their grieving families, the FBI is committed to helping solve their cases too. We're contributing to the rewards offered in the murder of Delonte Hicks and Charlie Marks. And we reiterate the earnest pleas for anyone who knows something to come forward. Now is the time. Striking out in anger just takes seconds. That violence can never be taken back, and the victims of it can never be brought back.
If you have any information about the deaths of Charles Marks or Delonte Hicks, call Maryland State Police at 202-953-1903. All callers remain anonymous.
And it was a scary sight at Joint Base Andrews yesterday as multiple people were sent to the hospital. This all stems from a mysterious package being dropped off at the site containing a white powder and political propaganda. An individual opened the package and the building was soon evacuated. First responders arrived on the scene and found no immediate threats, but 7 people felt sick and were sent to the hospital. This is currently an ongoing investigation.
You're watching CTV News. I'm Katara Jones.
And I'm Anaya Falcon. Still to come, the state's Department of Education is celebrating a milestone anniversary for its early childhood learning centers.
And after the break, we learn about the life and legacy that started it all. Stay with us.
Judy was the person who said she was going to tackle this. She was going to create a system of early childhood education and caring that hopefully would be successful.
I just knew that I wasn't the high-performing person I used to be. Pieces of my past are being erased. I was lucky we caught this at the very earliest stages. I hope that my story can give other people hope. There is life to be lived. Increasingly, there will be treatments. We need to invest even more in research and finding treatments and cures. If your loved one or you yourself are sitting there thinking, something is wrong, I'm not who I used to be, you can get some answers and you can get them for free.
Welcome back. One Maryland woman's dedication to early childhood education lives on way beyond her passing. I was at a celebration marking the 25th anniversary of the Judy Center Early Learning Hubs. Take a look.
We started with an idea to make sure that Judy's legacy was remembered and would help other children because she'd helped so many.
Congressman Steny Hoyer, along with his family, Maryland lawmakers, and state education leaders gathered to recognize the 25th anniversary of the Judy Center Early Learning Hubs. The centers are named after Judy Hoyer, the late wife of Congressman Hoyer and an early childhood education advocate here in Maryland.
Judy believed that the most fundamental responsibility of any community is to protect, educate, and mentor its children so that they can realize that potential.
What a wonderful, wonderful concept, and for Prince George's County, for Maryland, and I hope at some point throughout the nation, that we actually invest in these children at a very young age, because as my mother saw at the very beginning, that is where the beautiful people start.
Judy Centers are grant-funded programs that support families and children beginning as early as the prenatal stages through age 5. The Early Learning Hubs provides parenting classes, family and child playgroups, developmental screenings, family learning activities, and more.
Our Judy Center staff are not just running programs. They're shaping futures. They are the bridge between families and opportunity, ensuring access to high-quality learning, no matter a child's starting point.
Here in Prince George's, there are 6 Judy Centers and 100 across the state, serving thousands of Maryland's youngest learners.
Judy was a person that one of her great strengths, she didn't want to take credit. She wanted everybody else to have the credit and work together to get the objective done for children. So I think Judy would look down and say, as I tried to tell them, you are the Judy Centers.
Judy Hoyer died of stomach cancer in 1997 at the age of 57. She previously served as the coordinating supervisor of the early childhood education at the Prince George's Public School System. Now, for more information on the Judy Center Early Learning Hubs, visit the website right there on your screen.
And CASA, the immigrant advocacy group, is celebrating its 40th anniversary. This also comes at a time where Maryland's immigrant community has faced many challenges, including ICE agents looking to deport illegal immigrants and the ongoing case with Kilmar Abrego Garcia. But the ongoing director, Gustavo Torres, is encouraging people to continue pushing forward. He gave that message at their 40th anniversary celebration at CASA Welcome Center in Baltimore.
The People for Change Coalition hosted its Minority Business Enterprise Breakfast at Largo Community Church in Mitchellville this morning. Now, the event brought together entrepreneurs, contractors, and policymakers for a frank talk about how possible shutdowns and federal funding delays affect minority-owned businesses. Organizers say the breakfast offered practical strategies, financial tools, and advocacy tips to help small businesses stay resilient through federal budget swings.
We want to talk to the senator about what kind of policies can we put in place, what can we do to help them during this time. I feel that this is worse than the pandemic because some of these businesses will lose the contracts altogether. Agencies have been shut down, which have impacted their contracts, and they may never recover those dollars. And that's a huge impact because they have families, they have mortgages, they have leases. So it's a huge impact on our community.
The People for Change Coalition says today's turnout shows strong demand for unity and a reminder that preparation is power in Maryland's business community. This past weekend, Six Flags America officially closed their doors for good. Now, the site is already on the market. Real estate company CBRE posted a marketing flyer for the property on Facebook yesterday. It says the property spans 515 acres and is zoned for residential and legacy comprehensive design. Now, the list price was not included and the property is not listed on the company's website yet, but the site is predicted to be one of the largest redevelopment projects in the DMV.
And Tuesday was election day for multiple cities throughout the county. After a few days of counting, we now have the official results. In College Park, we have a switch up for the District 2 seats. Newcomer Holly Simmers keeps her victory, but Kelly Jordan now takes the win against Christopher Gill by 3 votes. The final official votes will be presented to the mayor and council on Wednesday, November 12th, and their inauguration is scheduled for Tuesday, December 2nd. And veterans were celebrated and honored today in Greenbelt ahead of Veterans Day on Tuesday. Hundreds gathered at the Senior Veteran Celebration at Martin's Cross Winds and Greenbelt and hosted by the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Attendees were able to enjoy music from a live jazz band, a multiple-course lunch, and presentations from local officials. One of the veterans at the event says the fellowship attendees are able to enjoy makes the experience so much greater.
It's a good thing to see people that are still living and are surviving, because after the military, we are new people, not the same people went in, and we come out, we're trying to survive and maintain sanity.
This really hit home for me, right? Because I was, and I am one of them, where I served in the Navy and I served in the Army in a time where it wasn't friendly for people like me simply because of the color of my skin. So to be able to be around a group of folks that understand that we're still living in a time in where we have to prove ourselves more than we've ever had to do in years past. So this is special.
The annual Senior Veteran Celebration event brings together over 600 veterans from across the county. And still to come on CTV News, the Washington Association of Black Journalists is rolling out the red carpet this weekend for a star-studded night.
That's right. From a historic anniversary to high honors and scholarships, we have the details on what you can expect. Stay tuned.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
Welcome back. The WABJ's 4th annual Special Honors and Scholarship Gala will be happening tomorrow in Washington, D.C. The gala is the Washington Association of Black Journalists' largest annual fundraiser. The sold-out event helps fund the association's long-standing urban journalism workshop, the association's training program for young journalists. Lucky scholars from the DMV area will also be awarded college scholarships supported by the donors at the gala. Now this year, WABJ will also mark their 50th anniversary. Chapter President Phil Lewis says the goal is to support and empower the youth, especially when Black journalism is changing.
If places decide to lay us off or decide to decide that our stories aren't important to their bottom line, then it's up to us to find ways to, either become independent or build our own or find different ways to get our stories out, because our stories will always be important. We just have to find ways to be able to get it out to the masses. For Black journalists, for journalists of color, our mission has always been to educate and inform our people, our communities, the masses, and the people. So that will always be true.
Sign-ups for the Urban Journalism Workshop are ongoing. Visit WBJDC.org for more information.
And Montgomery County is stepping up for cyclists. Starting now, if you park or stop in a designated bike lane in the county, you'll face a $60 fine. Councilman Evan Glass says this is about safety. In just 9 months, there were 115 crashes involving cyclists, including 6 serious injuries and 1 death. The new law also brings the county in line with neighboring areas that already bar vehicles from blocking bike lanes. And Governor Wes Moore is putting Maryland's horse industry front and center. Yesterday, he signed an executive order to create the Maryland Horse Industry Strategic Plan, a first-of-its-own-kind roadmap to grow and support the state's $2.9 billion equine economy. Maryland has more horses per square mile than any other state, supporting thousands of jobs and communities from tracks to trails. The new plan brings together industry leaders, workers, and state agencies to boost economic development, training, and sustainability, keeping Maryland a national leader in all things equine.
And you can't talk about the holidays without talking about the weather. Could we possibly be seeing snow this winter? Well, according to Fox 5's 2025 to 2026 winter outlook, we may be seeing between 12 to 18 inches of snow for the DMV area. December is set to be the coldest month. January will have the most snow, and February and March will start to calm down, but there is still a chance we could see some snow. It is also predicted that we may even see more than an inch of snow before Christmas. So if you're going to prepare, you know what? Prepare now, because snow looks like it's coming, guys. And don't move, because Simon Buggs is here with our Friday sports page.
That's right, and I hear it's a big weekend for football. What's going on today, Simon?
What's going on, CTV Sports family? It's time for your Friday sports page. Now first, y'all know I gotta highlight the local high schools, as the state football playoffs will continue this weekend, and there'll be tons of teams taking the field. First up, we have Friendly, who took the field against Dunbar at 5 o'clock. Next, Bowie, who will go on the road to face off against Annapolis. Then Gwinnett Park, who will try to keep their season alive versus Parkside. The Carlson Cavaliers will be taking their show on the road and match up against Largo. And finally, Frederick Douglass' quest to take home the state title trophy will continue in their game against North Carolina. Meanwhile, the UMD football team will be back in action tomorrow afternoon against a conference opponent in Rutgers. And the Terps will try to use this game to get back on track and put an end to their losing streak. Now, don't be fooled by the Scarlet Knights' 4-5 record, Terps fans, as this Rutgers squad is still a tough team and could pose some challenges for Maryland.
It's a well-coached team. I got a lot of respect for Greg. And what he does, very similar projects. I think I'm a year ahead of him in terms I've been here. This is year 7. I think this is year 6 for him back in the saddle. They got a team that, you know, they played well early. They've had some close games. They've had some things not go their way. But the areas where you can see the character of his team is on the special teams, and they've played special teams really well around there for a long period of time.
A really physical team, you know, they're going to fight for every single yard. They do a really good job of playing on schedule, you know, and their playmakers make plays.
A great defense, you know, a disciplined defense. You know, they do a lot of things to try and disorientate the offense. But, you know, at the end of the day, when we stick to our plan, we're going to execute and get the job done.
Man, I really hope Maryland can come away with a win tomorrow, y'all. Kickoff is at 2:30. Good luck, fellas. Moving on to the men's basketball side of things, the Terps will be taking the court tonight for their home opener against Georgetown. And head coach Buzz Williams touched on not only the game, but also the identity he envisions his team having this season.
We're really excited for our first home game. John has mentioned they expect a great crowd, particularly with students. I hope that the identity would be that we play with some level of physicality, that we play for one another, that we play with a low turnover rate, that we care about the possession, whether we have the ball or don't have the ball. That we give more daps and hugs than anybody in the country, that our huddles are tighter, that when the ball's on the floor, in the air, or on the ground, we're the first to get it.
Tip-off is at 6 o'clock. And congratulations to the Terps women's basketball team on getting the dub last night against UMBC, 87-54. Their next opponent will be, funny enough, Georgetown on Sunday at 1 o'clock. And sticking with college sports, the Bowie State football team will be in Pennsylvania tomorrow, taking on Lincoln University for their last regular season game. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock. And finally, my Washington Commanders will host the Detroit Lions on Sunday. The game begins at 4:25. And that wraps up your Friday sports page. Have a good weekend, y'all.
Thanks, Simon. And President Donald Trump will be at the Northwest Stadium on Sunday as well to honor military veterans. Now let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight we'll get some showers after 10 p.m. and tomorrow will be nice and sunny with a high of 68. Sunday we get another high of 78, but more rain is on the way. Monday will be partly sunny and about 50 degrees with a low of 32, and we may even see some snow on Monday night.
And for our community calendar, the City of Bowie's Office of Grant Development and Administration is having a grand opening for the city's new Workforce Training Center. It was created in partnership with Employ Prince George's to provide resources for job seekers. It will officially open Wednesday at 10 a.m. at the Ken Health Center. For more information, visit the website on your screen.
And that's a wrap for CTV News for now. Thank you so much for joining us.
We'll see you again on Monday. Good night.